Hi, James David Manning, the Lord's servant. I've got a message for Pharaoh Eric Adams. Now, you might call him recently elected mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, for dating this message less than 2 months. 2 police officers have been killed. 2 other police officers have been shot, 1 robbed or attempted robbery. Several young people have been shot in broad daylight on the streets of New York City. Murder, stabbings, buses shot up. The place has become wild, wild west. And God, his name is Jesus, has sent me with a word for Pharaoh Eric Adams to let my people go. And to send a word also to New York gentrifiers, bankers, and court systems as well. You must have lost your mind. You've come up in Harlem and you have taken the properties where people once were able to live, though in a low income status and not the best, if you will, renovated housing, but at least they had housing. Are you crazy? Are you gentrifiers crazy? Are you banks and developers? Have y'all lost your minds? You've pushed the people out of houses into the streets and into the shelters and into the subways. Have you lost your mind? You come up here with your prissy little selves, your LGBTQ, your nasty little things, and you renovated the houses, push people out. Where do you think they're going to go? So they're now in the subways and on the streets, and some are in shelters. But you pushed them there. Had you not come up here to Harlem, New York City would not be plagued. Well, what's happening in the subway system? The shootings, and the children growing up without their fathers or their mothers. I'm going to ask the engineer to play a clip that Pharaoh Eric Adams said the other day about how he's going to clean up the pulpit. I'm telling you, Pharaoh Eric Adams, don't be down there in them subways pushing them subway homeless people and them rats back up on the street. It's going to be worse. Try to deal with it. I tell you what, Mr. Engineer, roll that clip and I'll have some more comments.
City agencies addressing the crime, mental illness episodes, people who are without a home, all of these being seen on New York City subways right now. And after this recent rash of violence that New Yorkers saw over the weekend, a lot of people are asking, is this plan going to work? Tonight, a zero-tolerance policy in New York City's transit system is in effect.
No more smoking, no more doing drugs, no more sleeping. No more doing barbecues on the subway system. No more just doing whatever you want. No, those days are over.
This as the city recorded an alarming 6 stabbings or slashings over the weekend in the subway system and 2 alleged assaults where NYPD officers recovered this, a hatchet they say was used in one attack.
Pharaoh Eric Adams, and I'll tell you why I call him Pharaoh in just a moment. Don't do that. Let the people stay in the subway. They got no place to live, Pharaoh. Y'all with your prissy little selves, with your LGBTQ and your master's degree and your restaurants and your Caesar salad and your Chardonnay wine. You came up into Harlem, took the apartments, took the property, took the culture, bulldozed the churches, and you push these people into the streets and into the subway. Where the hell do you think they were going to go? What the hell? Y'all came up here with your prissy little selves and your pinch-nosed Negroes and just took the property, bulldozed, foreclosed, kicked people to the curb. Where the hell do you think they were going to go? They're in the subways now. They sleep on the subways. They cook their meals in the damn subways. If not that, on the street. I'm telling you, Pharaoh Eric Adams, if you push them people out of the subway, you're going to have a greater massacre on the street. Because at least on the subways, they're protected from the rain. They can sleep on the subway. Pharaoh, I'm telling you, don't do it. This program you got, and I'm not saying I'm here for the stabbing. That's going to get worse. You ain't seen nothing yet, Pharaoh. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till the summer gets here. And the war goes on in Europe and the gas prices go through the roof. What did y'all expect? I mean, I've never seen anything as silly as y'all white people. You LGBTQ, you liberal Democrats, bleeding hearts, if you will. Let's go help the poor black people. I've never seen anybody silly. It's silly. It's stupid. Y'all are stupid. You took a man's house, kicked him and his family to the street. Where the hell do you think he's going to go? Go disappear? He's sleeping on the subway now. Or he's sleeping on the sidewalks. I swear, building all these expensive brownstones and putting up all these high-rise buildings, you are pressing people further down underground. You need to read that book by Richard Wright, The Man Who Lived Underground. Of course, y'all know as well read as I am. You're not articulate. You don't have it going on. But Richard Wright wrote a book called The Man That Lived Underground. Check it out, Pharaoh Adams. Have one of your aides read it to you because you probably can't read. I've never seen anything like y'all gentrifiers. You bulldoze over the churches. You foreclose all the properties. You kick people to the street. Where do you think they're going to go? Go live on the moon some damn where? Those that didn't go to the moon, or those that didn't go to the street or the subway, you send them to Rikers Island or to Attica. So that y'all can have y'all can now take over Harlem. What a bunch of damn fools. And Eric Adams, you got elected because of the Jewish real estate development banking money and Bitcoin. That's not a reason why somebody like you, at least David Dinkins has some class to him and some pizzazz. I swear, they reached down to the bottom of the crab barrel to get you, Pharaoh, Eric Adams. But I can tell you this, that, you need to, and all of New York, because everybody, I know you just put, Pastor Man, we don't like you, we don't really like the way you talk, and we think you ought to be more politically correct, and you ought not to call names, and you ought not to identify pensioners Negroes, and you ought to welcome the LGBTQ people and let them, hear what I'll say to you, go to hell and go quickly. Listen, I'm the Lord's servant. It is not that I am any old thing that you said. I'm just standing on God's word, and God's word's against y'all. And I ain't gonna I don't have to compromise with none of y'all people about nothing. But what you fail to understand is the mercy of God that lets me talk to you, to enlighten you, and to enlighten everybody else. We've got these crime problems on the streets of New York because the gentrifiers have pushed the people to the streets. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. For every sissified, bleeding heart, LGBTQ, pale-face that have come up here to Harlem to take the properties, you have pushed 7 Hamite people into the subway system to sleep at night. You bunch of damn fools. Crazy as listen, homelessness, for all the building and construction, so-called explosion, you ought to hear these people. There's a building boom in Harlem. There's a construction boom. Ooh, isn't this so wonderful? There's a boom in Harlem. What these assholes don't tell you is that there's a crime wave also because of the building boom. And the more you build, the more crime sweeps the streets of New York City and it's going down to Wall Street. These people ain't gonna stop just here in Harlem. I've never seen anything like it. You keep on building and destroying or constructing, and homelessness and destruction will continue to grow. And by the way, it's just getting underway. You push the man out of his house, where you think he's gonna go? You and your courts, you and your banks, you and your pinch-nosed Negroes, you and your Washington Post and your New York Times. You and the Jewish bankers and developers, you push the man out on the street. Where the hell you think he gonna go? Now you say, we ain't gonna have no smoking, we ain't gonna have no barbecuing, we ain't gonna have no drugging, we ain't gonna have none of that in the subway. That's got to go. You talk like a man who done lost his damn mind, Pharaoh Adams. You crazy. You crazy, boy. By the way, Eric, Pharaoh, I've told you that God has set the Joseph program. I know, you're not going to come. I know that. I understand that. I don't say it because I think you're going to come up here and talk with me. But if were you to come up here and talk with me, I could tell you how to solve this problem. No, I could tell you how to solve the homeless problem. I could tell you, well, first of all, I can tell you this now, so you won't be no surprises. First of all, you're going to have to let the Joseph Project go forward. You have to bring these men home out of prison that y'all put in prison, gave these long sentences to. And they did wrong. They should have been sent to prison, but they're right now. Their hearts are right. Their minds are right. They're ready to help their younger people. They want to tell the younger people what Elvis Presley said, don't tell the little sister, don't you do what your big sister done. They want to tell little brother, don't do what your big brother done. It'll work, but you're not going to come. I mean, we could bring men home from prison. You know, by the way, in case you don't know that, you know, I've been 44 years. You know, I was convicted. I was sentenced to 10 years for armed robbery by a judge in Brooklyn, Kings County, and 3 years for burglary by a judge in Miami, Dade County. So I've been around. I've been home now for 44 years. I've built 3 schools, established a global church, and educate people, and I'm talking to you. There are men in prison who could do better than I've done. If there are men in prison, if you let them out, let me deal with them, they can build a better, they can clean up the subway system. You can't clean that subway system, Pharaoh. You can't clean the streets of New York, Pharaoh. You got these crazy pensioners, gentrifiers now who are hiding behind the curtains in their bathroom curtains in their house. Let me say something to you. I'm going to tell you something. I know you're not going to come talk to me. You're not going to hear the Joseph Project that said, bring these men home, let me talk to them, bring them home, put them on the street. Little brother don't do what big brother did. You're not going to do that. But I tell you what is going to happen. I tell you what's going to, the more, first of all, you push the man out of his house, you put him in the street, you put him on the subway, you got him sleeping on the sidewalk on a cardboard and a sheet. You did that. No, that's what y'all white people did. That's what the hell you did. You might as well admit it. That's what you did. You pushed these people out of these houses. They were low income. At least they were indoors. Y'all pushed them out. Now, keep on pushing, and you're going to see Harlem burning like Rome. Keep on pushing. Keep on talking about law and order. Keep on talking about you ain't going to tolerate this and tolerate. I'm going to let you know something, Pharaoh. You ain't in charge of a damn thing. You're not even in charge of your own mayor's office. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. You don't do nothing unless you consult with the Jewish developers and bankers. And by the way, I'm a Zionist, just in case y'all think I'm some anti-Jewish. They got the money. I'm a Zionist. Eric Adams, you ain't in control of nothing. You have to ask the Jewish developers and bankers for permission to go to the bathroom to do number one. So let's be clear about what we can be clear about here. You keep on pushing, keep on talking that the we ain't gonna have this. Well, I laugh. You think them damn homeless people give 2 damns about you? By the way, there's nothing that's being pushed up out the subway. It's the rats. New York City is full of rats, Eric, Pharaoh. Anyway. I told you I would tell you why I call him Pharaoh is because God sent Moses down to talk to Pharaoh to tell Pharaoh to let the people go. And Pharaoh wouldn't do it. And every time Moses spoke to Pharaoh and Pharaoh, acted like he thought he was in control of something, God whooped him. God sent frogs, sent locusts, turned the Nile River into blood, and all of Egypt was stinking. And Pharaoh still wouldn't come talk to Pastor Manning up at the Outlaw World Missionary Church. Pharaoh, I ain't talking to him. He ain't got nothing. Nah, I'm Pharaoh. I ain't doing nothing. More people kept dying. More people kept suffering. Pharaoh, I ain't talking to him. But God sent Moses, and finally Moses went back and said, now, Pharaoh, if you don't do it, there are going to be more deaths in Egypt than you can shake a stick at. And that death could come to your house too, Pharaoh. Pharaoh, get out of here. I don't know if I like you. You're not a part of the civil rights movement. You didn't, you ought to try to get out the vote. You ought to try to run with Jay-Z and everybody and, be popular and all that kind of stuff. And, you ought to join the civil rights movement, join the Black Caucus. And we ain't going to listen to you. And I'm going to talk to the Black Caucus and I'm going to talk to the rappers. I'm going to say, rather, you gave me an idea. I'm going to ask the rappers to get on the street and talk to these black folk. You gave me an idea. I ain't going to let the prisoners, I ain't going to let the men out of jail who should be out of jail now. I'm gonna have the right. So you gave me an idea. Yeah, right. You damn. So the reason why I call you Pharaoh, Eric Adams, is because then God dropped the hammer, and you felt it in your own house, and you decided then. But you could have done it a lot earlier. You could come talk to me now. By the way, you got to come up here to church because this is where the altar. You know, altar. I ain't going down to City Hall. That place is a cesspool of perversion. I ain't going down there. But y'all can come up here. I'll let you bring your team up here. Bring your security team and everybody. Bring the news people with you if you want. But no, and we can put an end to this. No, we can put an end to this. No, well, you know, let me say this to you. You know, Pharaoh. You see what's happening to Giuliani now? You know, he's just sitting in the seat that you're sitting in, right? That fellow, that communist called Dix, called you a black Giuliani. I said, you, Pharaoh, I call you Pharaoh, but Carl Dix call you a black Giuliani. You worse than Giuliani in terms of locking up black folk and so forth and so on, killing them in the street. But I don't have the time now. I've got to go. But let me just recap. Where did you think, when you gentrifiers brought your prissy little behinds up here to Harlem and run everybody out of town with your banks, with your credit cards, with your money, with your Caesar salad, and you shot in their wine and you foreclosed on people and kicked everybody to the damn curb, where the hell you think they were going to go? Where do you think they were going to go? Did you think about that? Now they're stabbing and shooting and maiming indiscriminately because you put them out their houses. I've never seen anybody as dumb as you liberals, and I guess the LGBTQ are probably dumb and perverted. They're in the subway now. Pharaoh, don't go down there. Don't send your police officer. By the way, I'm pro-police. I'm pro-popo. But don't go down there in them subways and pushing them people. You're going to push them up on the street. It's going to be worse. At least in the subway, they can just ride back and forth. Don't have to worry about cold and wind and rain and snow and all that kind of stuff. You know, they can stop somebody, give them money. They can pick up their check or digit or whatever it is and buy a hot dog and then get back on the subway and go to sleep there. Pharaoh, don't go down there messing with them people. Don't go down there messing with them people. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you. Well, we got to stop it. All that crime and stabbing. Pharaoh, don't do that. Don't do that. At any rate, I'm here in case maybe Pharaoh don't want to talk to me. Maybe somebody else got enough sense to realize we need to talk to Dr. Manning. Well, I'm here. I'm here. I've been sent with the mission and the vision of ATLAH. And God will give you a word that maybe can save the city. I'm not sure that's the case. You might just get a rebuking. But you can come and see what the Lord will say. But I do know this. The Joseph Project will stop all this shooting. And Pharaoh, if another police officer gets shot, what you going to tell him? What you going to tell him? They shooting police now. What you going to tell him, Pharaoh? Pharaoh, Eric Adams, what you going to say if another police officer gets shot? What you going to tell him? Well, I ain't going to there talking to him because he's against Al Sharpton. He's against Obama. He's against LGBTQ. But I'm pro-police. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-people living in safety and decency. I'm pro each man be treated equally. I'm pro-justice and truth. That's what I'm pro. And I'm pro seeing policemen going home to their wives and children every night. And that woman had to sit there with her hands wringing because her partners got shot. I'm James Evan Manning, Pharaoh. Anytime you want to come, I'm here up in ATLAH, the ATLAH World Missionary Church, 123rd Street, Atlantic Avenue.